Welcome back.
Yo, Base Guru, nice job snagging first. Good morning, my friend. Dude, the weather this morning is amazing.
Welcome back.
Hey! Very nice. Chat connected, we got everything all clicked, started. It's a great morning for some game news. You got your jacket this morning? Dude, I wish I had wore one last night. We had a softball doubleheader. We had 2 games back to back, and it got chilly. It got pretty chilly. I didn't get my bowl. Nice. Nice on those top firsts. Okay. Well, we have a few things to talk about this morning. We'll go through and have a good time. Hey, shout out to Caster Troy for following offline yesterday. Cool. Hope you're in chat soon. I look forward to seeing you. Chatting with you. Appreciate it. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good to start. I hope everybody's doing great this morning. It's good to see chat. Good to see people here. All right. What's up, everybody? The Caster Troy. That's funny. All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. We got another round of game news to talk about today. It's Wednesday. Hey, 7 stream streak. Let's go, Base Guru. Did I grab? Oh, snap. Did I grab? I'll make sure I grabbed the right. I think I closed the wrong tab. Maybe it's that one. Yeah, let's do that. There. All right. Okay, well, welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. We're going to switch it to game news mode. Just a second, I had closed the wrong tab and had to go recover that. All right. Let's talk about... What's up, Frost? Good to see you. Almus, welcome. Good to see you guys on Shorts. Guys, have you guys seen my latest YouTube short? Yo, thanks for that. Over on TikTok. Why didn't it show up in the chat? I don't know. It's a good reminder to turn off the alerts because game news mode is about to get activated. Let me fix the TikTok chat real quick. Why is it being weird? Comments off? Are comments disabled? Let me reload the page here. There we go. There we go, Rocket. I can see you. Almost, I'm doing good. How are you guys? Sorry, we had a little technical issue. Rocket, thanks for the likes. I can see you now. Let's see. And then we've got Dreamzy. Welcome. I'm doing good. How are you? Anyway. All right, let's shift it into news mode. I can still see the chats, it just won't be on screen. And channel points are off for over there. That channel points happen. All right, guys. We got quite a bit to chat about with game news today. Microsoft, as the title says, does another price increase, but not in the direction you'd expect. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And then goes and talks about next-gen hardware, which doesn't look too good. Also, we have another Nintendo Direct announced, but again, a surprise to most. So let's jump in and start looking at articles. We'll start with Arc Raiders this morning. Arc Raiders devs already planning 10 years worth of content. I don't know if this is a common thing with like game studios that make multiplayer games, and maybe Arc Raiders can support 10 years of content. But Destiny also had 10 years of content, and then Destiny 2 came out and was also supposed to have like 10 years of content. And I just don't think this is a good strategy to announce like this. Maybe internally, yeah, plan 10 years ahead. But don't she's getting all these notifications. What's up, Denalid? Don't sit here and like pump up like your player base and the game isn't officially even out yet. It says, if you thought, the article says over on Insider Gaming, if you thought the hype for Arc Raiders couldn't get any bigger, then you should know how much Embark Studios values its new extraction shooter, which everybody's hyped about this game that I've talked to. What's up, Brent? Happy hump day morning indeed. A 10-year plan is already drawn up for Arc Raiders, so if you buy the game, expect a lot of content to be fired your way. I wouldn't buy a game on a promise of future editions. All right, that's all I'm saying. It's been a while since an extraction shooter had this much hype and attention. Arc Raiders has taken the spotlight from Escape from Tarkov, and the game's build-up has featured the Server Slam beta and is crescendoing into a big-time release. We're not sure about you, but if you had any doubts about the future of Arc Raiders, the company has issued a very long-term vision. Embark thinks it's a 10-year game. Embark Studios design lead Virgil Watkins and his team were asked about what the future holds for Arc Raiders in a sit-down interview. We're not sure where the original source comes from, but the video credit goes to @Arc Raiders News for now. Watkins had this to say about post-launch content. I think internally, for a very long time, we referred to this as a 10-year game. That's the ambition we're aiming for, and that dictates the type and quantity of content we want to put into it. I guess that's not too bad. Like I said, keep it internal. But I would not talk about that externally, right? I just think, yes, this game can be hype. It can have some of the best, mechanics, some of the best things about it. It could be like the best game ever. It really could. But funding could dry up. The player base drops off for some reason. There's so many things that announcing a 10-year content plan before official release, I don't know, that doesn't sit well with me. I think it's because we've been burned so much. Halo Infinite, turns out it's not very infinite. I think we got some of that with Overwatch. Hey, there's some stuff coming, it didn't come out. Destiny 1 and 2, hey, there's a lot of content. This Destiny 1, it's a 10-year game. Destiny 2 comes out. All right, it's not a 10-year game. Sounds really good on paper, but committing to a game for 10 years up front is a lot. It's very true. It's very true. Now, what if 5 of these years were the initial development of this? And so we're looking at 5 years worth of additional content post-launch, and the first year or two is the culmination of the 5 years of development. Maybe that's a little different, but if they're thinking, hey, look, the next 10 years after release, we're going to do stuff, that's just wild to me. That's wild to me. Anyway, all right, I don't want to spend too much on this. Let's move on. Maybe. There we go. All right, this hurt to read. Splinter Cell Remake loses another director. So I am a Splinter Cell fan, and every time I see news on the Splinter Cell Remake, it's always bad news. So my hope for this game was already dwindling. Now it's maybe non-existent. Oh, as a player? Yeah, as a player, 10 years is a lot, as well as a lot can change in 10 years. According to a new job listing from Ubisoft, a Splinter Cell Remake has lost its director again. Based on the Tom Clancy brand, Splinter Cell brings the stealth espionage action to gaming. With the 6 mainline titles and a dozen novelizations, the series was a hit in the 2000s, 2010s. Unfortunately, we last played as Sam Fisher back in 2013 with the cool yet controversial Blacklist. You know, I didn't finish that one. The one Splinter Cell game I haven't finished was Blacklist. Having been over a decade since the last entry, a remake of the franchise's first title was in order and announced in 2021. Sadly, all the news surrounding the project since hasn't been the best, with no updates and the original director leaving. Now it seems whoever came after them has quit the remake, according to a new Ubisoft job listing. So they posted, according to Tech for Gamers, the job listing, which has since been taken down, was available on Ubisoft's website. The position, game director, was for Ubisoft Toronto office and would be for the Splinter Cell remake. The description for the job states, the person would be part of the Splinter Cell development team, leading workers and coming up with new features. So you gotta wonder with these job listings, because we can see them. People can search job listings and they get taken down, which means either there's a new director or they just took down the job listing for now. But you really wonder, why could they just put like uncertain terms and vague like descriptions? I guess it would turn people away, but if you slap, hey, you'll direct the Splinter Cell franchise, you know, or whatever, maybe that leads people back in to applying. I don't know. It's very weird. In 2022, the original director, David Grivell, left the project and Ubisoft after more than a decade at the company. Given we haven't seen any gameplay or updates like Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, things look a bit unsteady. Just recently, the series did get a small revival with Netflix's Splinter Cell Deathwatch, an animated series from John Wick creator Derek Kolstad. The show was renewed for a second season shortly after premiering, so it seems the hype for a new entry is very much present. Hopefully things will work out, and we'll finally put on those night vision goggles again. I just punched my mic. I really hope that the remake happens and it's good. But good lord, I'm tired of getting bad news on this game. It's just like one disappointment after another, and it's starting to bum me out. I guess I kind of go, all right, let's not think about Splinter Cell for a while again. You know, let's not worry about it. And then we get more news and it's like, ooh, Splinter Cell. Oh, never mind. It's sad. You know, it's like, whatever. All right, well, speaking of bad news, let's talk about Xbox dev kits. Microsoft has decided to increase the price of dev kits because, you know, just sticking it to the consumer wasn't enough. Now the devs need to pay too. It's not just consumers feeling the pinch of Microsoft's price increases, as Xbox dev kits are also going up. According to Tom Warren at The Verge, sources say that the company is raising the price of Xbox development kits. It's said that the dev kit prices will rise from $1,500 to $2,000, and this price increase will impact other regions in addition to the United States. And here's the statement. The adjustment reflects macroeconomic developments. We remain committed to providing high-quality tools and support for your development efforts. Yeah, so long as you have the moolah to pay. You know, the increase to $2,000 represents a jump of 33% from the prior cost. That 33% remains in line with what Microsoft has done to consumer Xbox hardware since the current system's launch in 2020. It also comes a few short weeks after the company announced a 50% price increase for Game Pass Ultimate. So Insider Gaming reached out to Xbox for comment, but probably didn't get a response. What on earth, Microsoft? You can blame macroeconomic issues and things all you want. You can't. I'm getting frustrated just thinking about what to say here. Again, we are tired of hearing record profits, and then we're cutting positions and record revenue, and Game Pass is profitable. So now we have to up the price of Game Pass and up the price of all of our hardware because, gosh darn it, you know, this economy just doesn't support it. But we're making record money, and things are going well for everyone who isn't a bottom tier employee. And it's like, this is just another dumpster fire event that Microsoft has rolled out to us. It's just getting ridiculous. It was already ridiculous. This is jumping the shark. You know? Ramos, what's up? Thanks for the gift over on TikTok. How you doing? This is just what are we doing? Now the devs have to pay more. It's like I just don't understand how Microsoft can be the massive company it is and consistently frustrate everyone involved in the brand. It like you've got your developers now having to fork out more dough for dev kits, and that could be leaning into upcoming hardware as well. That's probably going to get more expensive, which we'll talk about in just a second. But that's assuming you don't already have a dev kit and you don't need additional dev kits, right? Like if you have your hardware, like my Series X and S at my house have only gone up in value, right? Because they're now more expensive than they were when I bought them. But now the dev hardware is also more valuable if you've already purchased it as a studio. Apparently this doesn't affect the indie studios that can get free dev kit hardware given certain circumstances. There's like criteria your project has to meet to get the no charge dev kit. But it's just like, what is happening? This is so annoying. Looking for more Christ-based gamers to watch. Figured to pop in for a bit. Dude, I appreciate you being here. I do love the Lord. And this morning we're talking game news, as we do on most Mondays and Wednesdays. Feel free to chat. I don't always respond to every single chat message, unless it's like generally topical or just, catches my attention. Because this is more of a news show, if you will. Windows 11 is trying to AIify everything. Xbox is trying to Xboxify everything, and prices are going up. Maybe the year of Linux actually is coming. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm very tempted to move my stuff to here's where I'm at. All right. In the grand scheme of things. I don't know if this isn't really relevant to this story, but in the grand scheme of things, I am at a point where I want to get away from like Windows being the only choice, right? And Linux isn't bad. I don't mind using it. The only thing I'm concerned with is sometimes software doesn't work well on Linux. Not just gaming, but like just in general. LoveKit, any more rumors about Xbox no longer making hardware? We're coming to that. That's our next story. Hey, Kel. Hey, wait, you're supposed to be working. Is the class watching game news today? My wife in chat, y'all. Will, what's up, dude? Good to see you this morning. Good to see you this morning. Thanks for being here. Yeah, let's talk about Xbox's next hardware. But yes, I do want to get away from some of this nonsense for sure. I thought we were in full screen mode and we weren't. But anyway, yeah, so speaking of things going up in price, VGC has a little article for us. The next Xbox console, let's make that a little bit bigger for everybody. Next Xbox console is a premium system, that doesn't sound good, which shares some of the thinking, also in quotes, behind the ROG Xbox Ally, Sarah Bond says. Sarah Bond being the president of Xbox. Xbox president Sarah Bond has suggested the next Xbox console will share some of the thinking behind the recently released Asus ROG, Xbox Ally, and Ally X handhelds. In an interview with Mashable, it was put to Bond that the next Xbox console is rumored to be a hybrid system capable of playing both Xbox console games and PC games. That would be expected. I kind of like the idea of it. That's kind of what I expected with the ROG Xbox Ally, but we didn't get quite there. But if it's a first-party device, it should absolutely be capable of running PC games and Xbox native games. While Bond wouldn't be drawn into confirming or denying this, her reply did suggest that the Xbox system will have a high price point and will share at least some things in common with the ROG Xbox Ally devices. Well, I can tell you, this is her quote, I can tell you you're right. The next gen console is going to be a very premium, very high-end curated experience, Bond replied. You're starting to see some of the thinking we have in this handheld, but I don't want to give it all away. It's not clear whether this is the thinking that Bond is referring to, but the ROG Xbox Ally handhelds, which are essentially handheld Windows PCs, offer players the ability to not only access the PC version of the Xbox Store, but also other stores such as Steam, the Epic Games Store, and GOG. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer discussed something similar in an interview last year before it was publicly known that the ROG Xbox Ally handhelds were in the works. In an interview with Polygon, Spencer said he would like to see other digital storefronts appear on Xbox consoles in the future, and that he'd like to break down the walled gardens that limit players to only buying console games through that console's official digital store. So we talked about this when this was first a thing, and so it's nice to see, one, Microsoft kind of confirm a next-gen hardware. We already got kind of that last week with all the drama and stuff with Microsoft potentially canceling next gen, and that was just a rumor that was made up, and all the other things. In an interview with Polygon, we read that. Okay, when asked if this meant he could see a future where other third-party stores like Epic Games Store or itch.io can end up on Xbox, Spencer said he could, citing the way Microsoft handles Windows as an example. Consider our history as the Windows company, he explained. Nobody would blink twice if I said, hey, when you're using a PC, you get to decide the type of experience you have by picking where to buy games. There's real value in that. Back in February 24, Xbox promised that its next console would be the largest technical leap you have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building. Earlier this month, tech YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead posted a video showing what he claims to be the main processor for the next Xbox console, stating that he too believes Microsoft is reportedly positioning the next Xbox console to be a hybrid system capable of not only playing games on the Xbox Store, but also PC games on other stores. And that's where I want this to be, right? Like, I want to see Microsoft really push into the hybrid approach, one, to lean on the PC hardware a little more, even with a custom SoC and all that. The PC architecture is way more prevalent. If you can get Steam to run on it and it runs everything right out of the box, even at a mid-range setting, that's great. If it runs even better, well then hey, that's even better. I don't know really what to expect from the handheld side of it, but if there's a dedicated hardware option that I can just console set under the TV, plug into my setup here and just use it, that's great. If I have to have the handheld version, I hope it's a Switch like experience where I can dock it and it runs a little better while docked, but then undocked the performance is maybe culled a little bit. But I guess we'll see. The ROG Xbox Ally X is selling really well. It's as expensive as it is. But that premium experience, and I'm kind of done with the article here, but that premium experience makes me think, yeah, this is going to be a super expensive next generation. We're already pushing up the prices of the top tier PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X consoles are getting closer and closer to $1,000 in this current situation, right? That kind of spooks me into thinking that we're gonna have to pay pretty hefty for the best experiences at the next generation launch, both PlayStation and Xbox considered. PS6 would be right behind or in line with price. There's no reason for it not to be. If you guys remember the debacle with the PS3 when it was $599.99, and they were okay with that, and then 360 was like, nah, we're a lot cheaper, and people were like, oh yeah, we'll buy the other thing. I don't see a world where PlayStation and Microsoft don't have some kind of price parity, not intentionally like some kind of contractual agreement, but just to stay competitive. Or they can do whatever they want and just rely on the features and the games themselves, because that's really what's going to differentiate it, right? Stick and test your glorified babysitter. Wow. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm not super thrilled to learn how expensive this next generation is going to get, but hopefully this premium situation gives us a Series X and a Series S offering, maybe with better names. That's the thing. If they can name it right, maybe it'll have a better time. But this is crazy. Like, I don't know. Just thinking about all the potential price increases. You just rather go PC? It's true, Frost. Honestly, I like the ease of consoles, but from a price standpoint, I'd just go PC right now. Or get a Steam Deck if you really want a handheld. Steam Deck or an older Ally. They're I see them on Facebook Market all the time. They're cheap. And they're still running games well, so you can definitely go off of that. All right. Well, let's move on. Maybe. I clicked other things. All right. It's Wednesday. Apparently, it's just bad news day. But Final Fantasy IX Remake might be on ice, it's claimed. A reliable insider has speculated that the development of the Final Fantasy IX Remake may have been put on hold for the time being. Final Fantasy IX Remake's development has gone through several significant hurdles since we first heard about it. Most recently, we were told earlier this year that the game's development is in trouble and there's a chance of it being cancelled. Now, more news that fans will not be happy about has surfaced online. Recently, Nate the Hate was asked on X whether he had heard anything about the remake's plans. The insider replied that for now, he assumes the game is on ice and that development may have been paused for the title. Moreover, the post states that it is unknown whether Square Enix will decide to return to it or not. Seems like Final Fantasy IX's remake is in real trouble, which is just the biggest bummer. Final Fantasy IX is my favorite. It's many people's favorite Final Fantasy. It is a really good Final Fantasy game. Top tier. One, at least it's got to be in the top 5, like overall ever, right? Well, things seem to be looking bright for the remake earlier this year, when rumors started to heat up with the new website launch for the 25th anniversary. A few days later, it seemed like Square Enix was also teasing the title as they posted a quote from the original game's ending. However, since then, we've only been receiving bad news, with it seeming like the Final Fantasy IX remake will never see the light of day. And that's where it feels. The more news we find, it's like Splinter Cell. The more news we get, it's not good, the less hopeful I get for it actually happening. It's just, guys, I'm so bummed by games that I like potentially getting a remake or, a decent remaster treatment, and them that not happening. Like, what is going on? So consoles were nice and they had lots of hard copy games that played well. Now they seem to be on life support provided by exclusives and longtime fans. Only the portable ones really have value. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. And it's not that like consoles don't have a place. It's that the simplicity hasn't been matched on PC yet. I think the handheld PC market is helping the whole PC market get there. But there's just so many variables when it comes to hardware that it's hard to make it to where it's like, okay, run the best you can and it be a good experience across the board, or the most optimal experience. But yeah, not thrilled about this remake being on ice. I'm tired of being sad about it, guys. Okay, let's talk about Switch 2. I saw this morning. Switch 2 boosts hardware sales up 24% in September. According to industry firm Circana, the Switch 2 has led the hardware sales to jump 24% to 324 million year over year in September. In terms of year-to-date numbers, hardware sales are up 20% to 3.18 billion. The continued success of Switch 2 should come as no surprise. A recent report has even suggested that Nintendo has requested an increase in console production to 25 million units over the next 6 months. The official update on Switch 2 unit sales is expected to come during the company's upcoming earnings call on November 4th. Away from Nintendo, the PS5 maintained its second spot in terms of both units and dollars sold. The Xbox Series, as expected, finished third. Those systems, however, have seen double-digit year-on-year percentage decline. Moving on to accessories, fell by 10%. I don't care about accessories. I thought it was interesting. The sales are up in September. What came out in September, I think people were getting hyped for Pokemon, buying hardware in advance, but I don't know what was there a major first party release? I don't think so. I think we got Pokemon that came out this past week, and then we've got Kirby, Hyrule Warriors, and Metroid Prime all before the end of the year, which is a lot, guys. I don't have time to be playing all this and telling my wife, hey, I gotta spend $70 on another game for streams. It's getting harder and harder, guys. Console hardware was supposed to be a loss leader. Make it forward good games. Oh wait, see, Love Kit, you nailed it. Good games is hard to do for some reason. AAA gaming has definitely lost its way. If indie support on consoles can be bolstered even more so, I think it won't matter what AAA does, because we're seeing a lot of games on Steam do numbers, big numbers, that take, a year or two to make and then do really well. And if those experiences can come to console more easily, then yes, you can prop up your consoles with good games, because sales on your digital stores mean a lot, right? That Microsoft knows that, Sony knows that, like everybody knows that the digital retail front is where they're going to be making bank long term. That and subscriptions. We can't forget the subscriptions. All right, let's move on. Oh yeah, got a trailer.
Something spooky is coming to Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics.
I'm actually really excited for this. I have started Luigi's Mansion so many times that I now might actually play through it.
Luigi's Mansion. Available October 30th on the Nintendo Switch 2 system with a Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack membership. And now, you can experience the whole spine-tingling trilogy with these Nintendo Switch games that are compatible with Nintendo Switch 2.
No voiceover for Nintendo Music? It's fair. Alright, I do want to say, I really wish there had been a Luigi's Mansion HD for this, to round this out. But I appreciate that the OG GameCube version is dropping on Switch 2. I thought that was kind of cool. Could you imagine if someone put out a new handheld that retails for $200 but has even 10 to 20 really good games at launch? I mean, as long as it runs Steam, you have hundreds of good games at launch. Even at the $200 price point, you still have a lot of stuff that will run on it very well at that $200 price point. And if they own the store, if it's like a Microsoft or a Nintendo, I mean, that's what they saw with the Switch. Once they were able to get the Switch price way down and the Switch Lite came out, I think that's what helped make the Switch 1 even more successful. Really good games, really good IP, and then a price point that wasn't insane. What's up, Squid? All right. Well, hey, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct. It's for Kirby Air Riders, and it's tomorrow, and it's an hour. And it's tomorrow at 8 a.m. my time. I don't know if I want to do a reaction stream. It is just for Kirby Air Riders, which I'm very excited for. But an hour of Kirby Air Riders news? Like, what is there left to show? I honestly feel like Sakurai gave us some, like, a pretty in-depth overview of the game. Are they just gonna reveal everything? I'm not a fan of Nintendo going, hey, here's the latest game, and here's everything about the game, and there's no more surprise. There's nothing for you to discover. We have shown you the whole iceberg that our game is, and there's nothing fun anymore. GeForce Now is free. I can stream any game. GeForce Now is good. Here's the full playthrough. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Rocket. Here, I'm gonna play through the whole game, and you're gonna have fun watching me play and have commentary. Like, that's what I don't know. Like, it already had a spot in a main Nintendo Direct, and then it had its own dedicated Direct, and now we have Kirby Air Riders Direct 2, the sequel. Tomorrow morning. Sound off in chat. You guys want me to do a reaction stream to this? I might. I just don't know what. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy reacting to anything here. It's just Sakurai. He loves gushing about his games, and he does, and he deserves to. If anybody deserves to show off how technical his games are, it's Sakurai. Like, he puts so much work into it, you know, and I appreciate his love for the development process as well as the finished product, you know. So I don't know. I guess we'll do a reaction stream to it. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's gonna be worthwhile, but it might be good. I might watch it if he focuses on the UI. Fair enough. But yeah, Nintendo Direct tomorrow. Kirby Air Riders. I guess I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the game. I love the OG Kirby Air Rider. So everything I've seen on this, if this was just called Kirby Air Rider HD, it would have been the same thing. It could have been a full-on, just blatant remake, and I would have come back to it. But this looks like a sequel with new stuff, but more or less it's the same game, and I'm okay with this. The new mechanics and stuff look neat. The new characters, like the stuff they've put into switching characters and things, I'm great. I'm golden. You know, like, I'm sold. But anyway, let's move on. All right. Hey, did you guys know DK Bonanza got an update after the DLC? So we'll talk about the DLC in just a second. But the game is updated to version 2.02 and includes a fix to Pauline's voice not playing at times when acquiring a fossil. And then several other changes have been made and issues addressed to improve the gameplay experience. What are those experiences? I don't know. But speaking of DK Bonanza, we got the DLC is going to have in-game events only if you have the DLC. But Nintendo's announced that the first in-game event for DK Bonanza will kick off next week. The Chip Fever event, as translated from Nintendo's Japanese website, will get underway on Tuesday, October 28th, and will be sticking around until November 4th. As the name suggests, Chip Fever will provide a chip-focused twist on the usual Emerald Rush format. Those taking part in this event will have to collect as much ore as possible using only chip-based perks, ones like Chip Hoarder or Chip Negotiator. If you hit a high score in this event, you'll be able to nab 2 new figures for DK Island. The figures aren't the most useful additions themselves, but at least they'll look good in a full collection. So that's kind of cool. I'm not sold on the DK DLC. The main game was great. I've been off and on playing the post game. So seeing like the DK Island stuff just doesn't appeal to me. As a Donkey Kong fan, as much of a Donkey Kong fan as I am, and it's very not really like, I enjoyed DK Bonanza. I was very excited for it. Game was fantastic. You know, it should be up there in the Game of the Year discussions. I just don't know that the DLC is worthwhile. I did not see any appeal to it. If you picked it up, are you excited for this event? I don't know. You guys let me know. But anyway, all right, let's move on. Okay, another game got an update 2 years after release. Nintendo's updating Pikmin 4 with content. They put out a video showcasing it, but it's a longer video, and it made me kind of sleepy, like Pikmin 4 did. But my kid loved Pikmin 4, and I was surprised to see his game get an update. But the update is a photo mode. They added a field camera, which allows you to take photos. They added decor Pikmin. Apparently this is from Pikmin Bloom. You can find them in the map. Pikmin that don some form of decoration and are found in the world. You may see them wearing something like a wind-up toy, a donut, a snow hat, and much more. Decor Pikmin you gather in the new Pikmin 4 update can also be transferred to your squad in Pikmin Bloom, including some that are completely new, which I did not know that. That's actually kind of neat. So there's some game connectivity with Pikmin Bloom, which is still ongoing, which I didn't even know. I'm surprised they hadn't canceled that yet. New creature activity levels. This is like a difficulty mode. Move at your own pace and enjoy the new relaxed mode, where creatures won't attack unless you attack them, or kick things up a notch in the fiery fierce mode. These modes can be selected when starting a new game or changed at any point after from the game settings. So I think this is cool because, you know, it's just new functionality that was free. This is the kind of updates that I appreciate that Nintendo does. Maybe this should have been there at launch, but the fact that it wasn't didn't hurt the game. You know, people still enjoy it. And now it's just, hey, there's more stuff. The decor Pikmin thing, that's kind of cool. If you like the gameplay loop for Pikmin, there's more to love about Pikmin 4. All right, how much more do we have? I got one more story for you guys. And that is The Simpsons is reportedly coming to Fortnite, including an entire Springfield map. So Fortnite is a game we play a lot on this channel. And apparently they're going to do a mini season that's entirely Simpsons themed. It's due to get an entire mini season dedicated to The Simpsons, including new skins and a full map. I'm not really worried that they're doing this. Excuse me. I'm not really worried that this is, I don't know, it's kind of cool. My thing is, most Fortnite players, especially the younger ones that the game tends to attract or target, and you can take your pick on how they structure that, aren't really versed with The Simpsons. Simpsons is is it that relevant now? Or is this just hey, we can do it because we can do it kind of thing? The game, Fortnite, well known for taking pop culture things and integrating it into its own universe. So I can see it from that angle. But is there enough content there for a mini season? The mini Star Wars season aggravated a bunch of people. It's a month long, right? I would guess. So we've gotten a bunch of leaks, and so what do we have here? Well, that's, can I translate it here? No. Okay. According to Fortnite leaker Not Paulo, the game will receive an entire Springfield map with separate sections, including the Springfield nuclear power plant. Also revealed, Springfield map will be cel-shaded, keeping in line with the art style of Simpsons animated series. I think that's kind of cool. It's also been claimed Simpsons skins will have their own LEGO versions for use in Fortnite's LEGO themed modes. Not every licensed Fortnite skin comes with a LEGO version, meaning sometimes a purchased skin can't be used in LEGO modes. Yeah, it just defaults to a boring looking skin. It's rare The Simpsons appears crossover IP in video games. One of the most notable was LEGO Dimensions, which included its own LEGO version of Springfield. There hasn't been an official Simpsons video game for 18 years now. Not since the Simpsons game, which was released by EA in 2007. That's a long time. Let's see. Fortnite developer Epic Games has a long-standing working relationship with the Simpsons owner Disney. So it's not surprising, but would a mini season... I don't know. I just don't know there's enough content there. Maybe they have something planned out. I just remember when they did the Star Wars mini season this past year, people got really frustrated with the weapons and the gameplay, and I enjoyed it. I liked not having to find ammo. I liked using lightsabers and force powers. The blasters were all really fun, like the different varieties of them. So it's kind of neat. It's surprising to me that this would come now or at all to Fortnite in this big of a way, because again, people who grew up watching The Simpsons, they could enjoy the season, but I don't know that anyone else really would. You know, obviously I don't want it to tank. It just seems like an odd decision in 2025. You know, The Simpsons personally haven't been relevant in a long time, and I didn't grow up watching the show. I only watched it here and there, but it is a big part of pop culture and kind of like the American culture, you know, in general. So I guess it makes sense to do eventually. 30 years plus of Simpsons can have lots of content. It's definitely for millennials. That's what it feels like. Definitely targeting the millennials and older who spend money in Fortnite. I think that's what this is for. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for game news, story-wise. Not a whole lot happening out there since Monday. Supposedly, soon we'll learn more about Halo and the future, which I'm kind of interested in seeing what that is as a longtime Halo fan. But yeah, that's all we got today. Still doing shows that fell off like The Simpsons. Oh man, sorry guys. All right. Well, I'll cut the news mode. We'll just hang out and just chatting for a minute. Let's I guess we'll find somebody to raid out to. Y'all, I'm starting on time lately and getting ready before. Like, this week has been just phenomenal. If y'all haven't, let's see, let me close. Yeah, I'll close all the tabs. If you haven't already, hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button if that's what it says on the app you're watching on. The free one. You don't feel like you have to sub to the channel if it's money. But I appreciate all the support, guys. Watch time, we're grinding for on the YouTube side, trying to hit the first tier of partner, and trying to hit, you know, just monetization where we can on any app that we can. So if you guys can help support by watching and doing all that. Wait, you told me at the sub, you did, you personally, basically. You had to give me your $5 a month. Don't worry, it's well worth it. Unless you don't think it's worth it, then, you know, that's a conversation you and your wife can have about your financial situation. $5 a month, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I do appreciate the support, guys. Just lurking and following does a lot for me. Boosts my mood and makes me want to keep making content. So better than ads if you have the spare cash. It's true. It's true. All right, let's find somebody to raid. Clearly, I've been talking too long. GCG is celebrating 10 years of Twitch. So let's send it his way. Alright, love you guys. Y'all have a great day. I don't know how to fill out time. PayPal's been at 9.21 for the last 2 years. That's wild.
Welcome back.
Alright, I guess the Rumble side too. We'll send it over. Guys, thanks for being on Rumble. Means a lot. Who am I sending this to? Is Slinger live? We're gonna send it to the side scrollers. No, maybe not. Oh, it's stuck now. Alright, anyway, love you guys. Y'all have a great day, and God bless. We'll see you tomorrow morning. I guess we're doing a react to the direct. So, see ya. Thanks for being here.